Get the latest Impact podcast right into your inbox each week. Subscribe by entering your email address at impactpodcast.com to make sure you never miss an interview. This edition of the Impact Podcast is brought to you by ERI. ERI has a mission to protect people, the planet, and your privacy, and is the largest fully integrated IT and electronics asset disposition provider and cybersecurity-focused hardware destruction company in the United States, and maybe even the world. For more information on how ERI can help your business properly dispose of outdated electronic hardware devices, please visit eridirect.com. This episode of the Impact Podcast is brought to you by Closed Loop Partners. Closed Loop Partners is a leading circular economy investor in the United States with an extensive network of Fortune 500 corporate investors, family offices, institutional investors, industry experts, and impact partners. Closed Loop's platform spans the arc of capital from venture capital to private equity, bridging gaps and fostering synergies to scale the circular economy. To find Closed Loop Partners, please go to www.closedlooppartners.com. Welcome to another edition of the Impact Podcast. I'm John Shigerian, and I'm so honored to have back with us again today Dr. Nayan Patel. He's the founder of Oral Wellness. He's the glutathione king of glutathione, and he's literally democratized the information on glutathione. I'm so honored to have you back, Doc. Thank you for coming back on the Impact Podcast.
Thank you for inviting me again, John. I appreciate the time.
Hey, Doc, the last show that we taped almost 4 years ago was so impactful. We got so much feedback. So many of our viewers were dying for you to come back. But before we get talking about your fascinating and important journey with Oral Wellness and your great product, Glutarol, and your book, the Glutathione Revolution, I want to first ask you about yourself. Where did you grow up, and how did you get on this very impactful and important journey that you're on with glutathione?
Absolutely. At a humble beginning in Zambia, which was southern part of Africa. I was born and raised over there. My parents don't have much, but the only thing they wanted to give me was just education. I said, I cannot give you anything more than education, and hopefully the education is going to be big enough for you to make it a successful for life for yourself. And putting a heavy stone in their heart, they shipped me out to India for a boarding school my whole life. Wow. So I've been living without my parents from very early on at a boarding school. Gave me resilience, gave me a lot of versatility, lot more energy to think on my feet at all times, no matter where you are. Yeah. And when the time came, they sent me out to United States for my further education for college, and they had no idea. They put me at USC. I said, oh my God, it's crazy. I said, how the hell did you afford that one? But they could not afford it, right? They could not afford it. And so it was such an honor for them, for me to give to them, said, hey, we'll do whatever it takes for you to go to the school, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure you get the proper education. And so that's what they did. And after graduation, I made it a vow to myself that I'll do whatever it takes to take care of them. And long story short, 3 years later, my mom passed away very shortly after graduation, which was very, very sad for us. And then, so I just had my dad for all these years, but the teachings are still with me. And so even though I came from a humble beginning, it taught me to value life. It taught me that, hey, you know what? Life is too short. You better have an impact on this earth. Otherwise, you'll be forgotten very, very fast.
True.
So that's what we're here for.
Okay. So when you started your studies at USC, where did you start your studies, and how did you get on this this science track that you became on, and where did you then find glutathione as something that could be an amazing and important mission for you to make your impact with?
So USC was not out there to teach me how to become somebody unique, right? Okay. I was there to just learn basic pharmacy. Right. And so I learned about pharmacy school. I thought I was going to do amazing work when I graduated and to help heal the world, and very quickly realized that it's the ideology in the university versus the real world is two different things. the real world told me that all I can do is manage people's problems with medication. I cannot solve any problems. I said, well, that's not a good deal for me. I
Right.
just lost my mom. I said, what? This is not a fair deal. I said, you know what? If all the medications could have saved my mom should be alive today. At a very early age, she passed away. And so I said, you know what? There has to be a better option that's out there than just managing people's problem. So I started looking into ideas on what I can do to improve the world, and of course. I cannot go on the pharmaceutical side because that's all trying to look for new molecules. And I had known that all the stuff we need in the life to survive is inside our body.
Mm.
So what is it inside our body that makes this life turn over and over? And if I can figure that portion out, I think I can have a better chance. And so it's already been discovered 140 plus years ago, which is glutathione. But what they did not had figured out yet was how to actually enhance in your body. So that's our first shot. 1999 was the first time I looked and said, you know what? Let's figure out technology to deliver the glutathione inside your body. One of the doctors who has a patent on liposome technology came to me and said, hey, can you make some liposome vitamin C and PQQ and CoQ10 and glutathione and things like that? And as soon as the word said glutathione, I said, yeah, I can work on it. I had no idea how, but I said, I'll work on it.
Right.
Very quickly, I realized that it was not going to help it was not helping all my patients. So I told the doc, I said, this is good, but it's not great. I want to do something else. And so I was working on the intravenous form of glutathione right away. And that showed some promise, but it was very short-lived. It only stayed in the body for 15, 20 minutes. I said, there has been something inherently wrong that I'm not figuring things out. By the time I still had to pay my bills at USC, as you can know, imagine the USC bills are not cheap. So I had to pay my bills still, right?
Sure.
And so I was still paying off my debt a little bit, but at the same time, I had to figure out a different way. And so I started looking into different technologies that I can deliver glutathione on. It took me another 5 or 7 more years to basically figure out the products that we have today. It took me literally 7 years to figure that portion out in terms of how to get it stabilized and deliver through your skin.
So let's go back before we talk about the launching of Aura Wellness and your great products. Talk a little bit about why is glutathione really so important? What does it affect? It's created in our body, but we start wearing it. Our tank starts running low on it. Why is it so important to our health, our wellness? Now that regenerative medicine and longevity medicine has taken off, even since you and I have spoken last, and you came on the show. So talk a little bit about the interrelationship with health, longevity, regenerative medicine, and how we could just live healthier and better lives if we keep our glutathione levels up, and why. So
this is a really, really good question because I want everybody to understand how important this is. You would not survive more than a few minutes if you stop breathing.
Right.
You would not survive more than a few weeks if you stop drinking water. Right? Is that important?
Yes.
Does your body make oxygen? No, you take it from outside sources.
Right.
Does your body makes water? No, you get from outside sources. But internally, if there's one molecule that your body produces most abundantly, that's glutathione. So after air and water, the most important ingredient that you need in your body for all life form is glutathione. And to me, I didn't quite understand. What if body cannot produce glutathione? Do you just die? And the simple answer is yes, you do. But the thing is, the more complex answer is that how? How do people die if they don't have enough glutathione? Now, inherently, as long as your body produces enough energy, which is ATP, you have enough of those 3 molecules, which is the 3 amino acids coming to you in some form of diet, your body can produce the glutathione for the rest of its life. And so it's okay, if that's true, then why do we need to supplement the whole question? That's a whole different story. But let me just tell you the first part.
Sure.
Is that it's the body produces so much of glutathione because it helps you neutralize all the free radicals that are produced by either oxygen or chemical reactions that's happening inside your body. That if it's not neutralized, your body becomes super toxic and you won't even survive past couple of years. So that becomes a timer on how fast can the toxicity can actually injure you and cause death. The second part is it also helps you get rid of the stuff from your liver out of your body. Now, whatever you eat, you know that, hey, it's going to get through your colon. You're just going to get rid of it, and so that's okay. But what if your colon is completely packed and you can go to the bathroom every day? You will stop eating. You will stop eating, literally. Otherwise, if whatever I eat is not going to come out, oh my God, I got to stop eating. The same thing that happens if you have toxicity in your body that cannot be getting rid of it. You cannot add more toxic chemicals to your body. And so glutathione helps the liver conjugate those metabolites and active chemicals outside your liver to get rid of it, so your body can stay clean and fast and active at all times. If any of these processes are shut down or are not efficient enough, that's how the body starts deteriorating, and it can deteriorate very fast within a couple of years, or it may take a slow process over 10 years. Regardless, that's what's going to happen. It's either you die a slow death or a fast death, but the death is inevitable. And so, to me, next to water, next to air, glutathione by far is the number one supplement or the number one thing you can do to improve in your body, to have a longevity or have a better health span. I don't care if you live to 120. I do care that you are enjoying life at a golf course, or you are traveling or flying or whatever you do until 120.
You're enjoying it, and you're the healthiest you can be.
That's right.
So glutathione affects which of our organs the most?
Okay, so I look at the other way around, right? Oxidative stress is in every single cell in your body. Every single cell. Doesn't matter if it's your eyes, your ears, your skin, your liver, your heart, your kidneys, your spleen, whatever. It's everywhere. So the key is to get rid of those oxidative stress from every single cell in your body. The second part is that the liver is the garbage disposal for your house. So it's basically it cleans up your whole body, processes those active chemicals and get rid of it. It needs the help of glutathione to conjugate them so that your body can process it and get rid of it. So it is affecting each and every cell in your body. And I mean, it's very prominent right now, right? If you think about it, brain, if you think about it, it's like, well, it's secluded from the whole body. If the whole body is toxic, yeah, the brain is not, because there's a blood-brain barrier that you cannot cross. So the toxicity ranges in the brain is reduced by dramatically because the body cannot reach there. But keep in mind, 20% of all the oxygen that you breathe in every single day goes to the brain.
Wow.
And the brain is only 2% of the whole body weight. But the computing power, like today, we have already found out that our energy consumption in the United States has increased dramatically in the last 15 years plus. Because of why? Because we have data centers. Data centers takes a lot of electricity. Guess what happens to your brain? The brain needs lots and lots of oxygen. Without oxygen, the brain does not survive. And if there's only a limited amount of oxygen, guess who gets first? The brain does, not your body. Not your body. So the highest amount of oxidative stress in your whole body is in your brain. And without getting up all that oxidative stress in your brain, there's a very high chances of you having all sorts of mental disorders, right? Thinking capacity reduces, your brain fog increases. It's just, if you think about it, what's the number one epidemic in the world today? It's mental health.
Yeah.
Mental health. If you listen to the Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Vivek Murthy, he just said that openly that the number one issue we have in the world today is mental health, and it's a crisis issue right now, and we are not supporting that, because if you have enough glutathione, at least you have the thinking capacity to detoxify the brain so you can think better. Without that, and all those pressures in the world, your brain cannot function optimally. So that's the first thing, right?
Understood.
So you're talking about the rest of the body. I mean, if you think about it, top 10 diseases in the world that causes death, right?
Yes.
Every one of them is linked to oxidative stress. Every one of them.
Interesting.
So cancers, autoimmune conditions, metabolic disorders, heart disease, you can just name it, all of them is linked to oxidative stress. But if you reduce oxidative stress down, can the disease be reversed? Probably not. And the example I would like to give you for that one is something like an analogy. Let's say you come with 2 bags of groceries filled with in your hands. You enter your house. You leave the door open because your hands are tied up right now.
Right.
You go inside. The wind blows in and dumps all the dirt, the leaves inside your house. So what you do, you're a good person, I know. So what you do, you pick up the broom or the vacuum and start cleaning the house.
Right.
And guess what? The house never gets cleaned up because you know what? You forgot to close the door. So, but here's a bigger question. If you put the groceries down, the dirt gets in, and you close the door, is the debris going to get cleaned up by itself? No. You still had to do the work, right? And so to me, oxidative stress is happening every single day. If you close oxidative stress down by use of glutathione, any damage that has already happened inside your body has to be reversed. It's not going to happen by itself.
Right.
And so I always look at it and I said that if the one thing you can do for the rest of your life is to make sure your glutathione levels are optimized, because that will shut the door down. Once the door is closed, it's easier to clean the house from inside. There's no new dirt coming in.
Right. So glutathione both cleans up the debris and helps also shut the door.
It shuts the door down because it reduces oxidative stress down.
Right.
You still have to collect all the debris, but then once the debris is all collected, it can help you dump it out too.
So now you studied it, and back in the late 90s, you saw that it would help, but only on a short-term basis because our body voided it quickly. How did you come up with, where was your aha moment to take it from intravenous into creating a patent for transdermal transmission of glutathione? Where did you come up with that kind of thinking that could be the best way to transmit glutathione?
I did not. I wish I was that smart to figure all those things out. But the best researchers in the world are good at observing things.
Okay.
And so I was a good observant. I did recruit my colleague from USC. He was at the Keck School of Medicine. He was in the research department over there, and says, "Hey, come on down. I got plenty of money. I don't have to worry about money. Don't have to write for grant money ever. Just come on down. Let's work together. I have this project I'm working on." And he goes, "No." Right away. I said, come on. It took me about 1.5 to 2 years to recruit him, but eventually he came on board. 2001, he joined with me. And the first project I gave was, hey, let's figure out how to get this glutathione inside your body. And at that time, USC was already working on some technology using dextrin molecules. Of course, nothing was developed yet in the whole world at that time, but it was something new that everyone was just dabbing their feet around. And so we looked at that technology and said, you know what? It's a small peptide. It's a very small, just 3 amino acid chain peptide. It should be very easy. Yeah. Of course, he was working on like 50, 100 amino acid chain peptides, which was much, much harder to work with. I said, this is 3. Come on, it's easy, right? He goes, yeah, of course, it's easy. So, but you know what? It's one of those things that we were getting those materials because the materials were too expensive. And we were getting this cheaper grade material. It was not working. And so until we found a higher grade materials, because the real science happens when you work with quality ingredients to begin with. So when I was using a research grade material, it was not the purest form. And so I was missing some data here and there. It was not working out for me. But again, it took us 7 years because we still had to pay the bills. We still had to do our daytime job. I was still making medications in my pharmacy every single day. And this was like a side project I could work on whenever I had some time. Like other great entrepreneurs, you had to pay your family's bills. Yes. You wanted to also chase your dream and your vision. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So when did you finally break the code? When did it all come together? So this is another story that came out. I learned what I had discovered a year after it was already done.
Mm.
So you know what you do? You work really hard. You get the things ready. You make the product that you think is going to be the best product in the world. You create the product. I smelled it. It smelled awful, like the glutathione smell it is, right? I said, oh, I failed it again. I got to keep on working on it. So I put the product, label the product, and put it on the shelf. A year goes by, and of course, we're doing some cleaning in the laboratory because I have no space left now. I said, come on, dump all the old stuff out so we can keep on putting some new stuff in there, right? The bottle we saw came out. The first thing I noticed was it's still clear. It hasn't been denatured yet. It's still active. We opened it, it smelled awful still. I said, oh my God, everything is still the same. Nothing's changed. Guess what? We have a stable molecule. It's been stable for at least a year. This was sitting at the room temperature shelf, like, in the hot and cold weather, everything. Yeah. I said, okay, this is crazy. So that was a good idea. But then we realized that, okay, now we've figured out stability, that this is probably stable. Now we just have to keep on putting all these pieces together and see if I can figure this out, how to get inside your body. And so then we started working really, really fast on that one. And within another year or so later, we had this whole thing figured out, how to get through your skin, how to get inside your cell, how to get inside your mitochondria or the intracellular cells. And after that, the rest of you say was history, as you can imagine, right? But the aha moment came in a year after we discovered it in the first place.
Understood. And for our listeners and viewers who have just joined us, we've got Dr. Nayan Patel with us today. He's the founder of Oral Wellness. To find Dr. Patel and his great products, please go to Oral Wellness, AURO Wellness.com, oralwellness.com. It will be in the show notes, as will be his great book, The Glutathione Revolution. You know, I read your book, The Glutathione Revolution, Doc, and, you know, you have a lot of great stories in there. What were some of your favorite stories in terms of detoxification and anti-aging? Because now, this whole regenerative medicine, longevity, the medicine is so expanding more than ever before. So your timing seems to be so perfect. How can people integrate this with regards to anti-aging and detoxification into their lives?
So I'll answer this last question first, and then I'll tell you about the stories in the book afterwards.
Sure.
So if you're looking for longevity or increasing your health span, which is an ever increasing trend in the whole world today, the only way I think you can survive for long periods of time is if you're disease free from the get-go. Once your body becomes diseased, it's like going to a point of no return. So my goal for everybody, I'm 54 right now, 53 right now, and I have no disease at this point. I plan to stay this way as long as I can, because once you get a disease, that means what has happened, the body has changed. The genetics have changed, the epigenetics have changed, your body is transformed into these damaged cells that no matter what I can do, I cannot reverse it 100%. So the key is not to get damaged. So the earlier on you can start and reduce oxidative stress down, help the body detoxify, have the body rejuvenate and recalibrate on an ongoing basis. If you can do that part early on, like in the 20s and 30s and 40s, you can go disease-free until 60, 70, 80. If that's crazy, what if you get diabetes at the age of 80? Oh, whoopee-doo. People live with diabetes for at least 60, 70 years. You got another 70 more years to live. You can live to 150, no problem. Right? But if you get diabetes at the age of 20s, now the damage is already happening. The complication kicks in about 60 or 70 years of age, and then it gets really, really dicey after that. So my goal is to give the hope to people that, hey, if you are otherwise healthy, let me help you reverse any slight damage that's already been done before you get disease. Once you get disease, then at best I can do is maintain the disease for you. I can never get rid of it. So based on that, the bunch of stories that I have in my book, the one that really stands out for me was, when the kids are born, I'm not sure how what happened, but the kid gets autistic kids. They have major issues with detoxification, and they're on the spectrum, no matter which part of the spectrum they are, autism or Asperger's or wherever, or somewhere in between. The real sufferers are not just the kids, but also the parents. And so to me, when I helped this one daughter of this beautiful family, the daughter was suffering for autism for 7 years. 7-year-old, they have not slept for 7 years because the kid is always up. She doesn't go to sleep. And after using the product for about 14 days or so, the daughter slept for the very first time for 6 hours plus. You can imagine not just the daughter that fell asleep, but the mom that stayed awake for the last 7 years also slept for the very first time. So it changed 2 lives that day in one product. Right. To me, that is the most profound thing I've ever seen in life, where if I help one person, the whole family gets better. Right. And so that's one of the stories that really stuck to me, because the kid had nothing to do with it. It's just the only issue they had was they cannot detoxify themselves. And once I got that issue resolved, they're able to have an eye contact. They can have a better quality of life. In fact, a couple of years ago, I had another autistic kid. The mom sent me a testimonials on my website. You can read it through. The kid started singing in 4 days. I said, "Oh my God!" The family was so happy to see a daughter. I thought it was a son who started singing again. I said, "You know what? These are the joys. That's why we have kids, because we want to enjoy the simple moments in life, and they don't get to enjoy those things." So those are two stories out there, but there are plenty of stories in there. The one that was kind of an oddball was there was a horse that we helped him. Of course, the horse was not supposed to be on glutathione, but the horse was just there as a placeholder for the race. We put him on glutathione, and the horse won the race. I said, "Oh my God, this is crazy, right?"
So Doc, how I found you originally is I read a testimonial in an article by Tony Robbins, who had some problems. Talk a little bit about, and I know Tony's a friend of yours and he's allowed you to tell the story. Then we're going to talk about my own personal story and some others. So to talk a little bit about Tony, he had some mercury poisoning and he came to you. Explain what happened then.
Yeah, no, he did not come to me. His doctor came to me.
Okay.
Because I was working with this physician at that time.
Okay.
And so I said, "Hey, our customer is having some issues, and I hear you have some glutathione. Is it going to help him with his mercury poisoning? I also have mercury toxicity, mercury poisoning. I know he was hospitalized. I think this is all in the news. So I'm not sharing anything different. That's what's in the news.
That's exactly right.
But at the same time, I believe he was already using some other glutathione product at that time. So, of course, the doctor says, "How is your difference?" And I told him about my difference in the product. And so, long story short, he started using the product. And literally, I think it took him about a year and a half, where his levels of mercury was just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping for about a year and a half. I get a call, of course. I talked to him. I was so happy that day. For the very first time I talked to him, even though he's been a customer of ours for years, I never got to talk to people at that high caliber. Right. But it made me realize that they're all human beings at the end. They're very thankful. His heart is as big as he is. Is just opened up and said, "If anything he can do to help me." I said, "You can do to help me? Of course. There's a lot of things you can do to help me, but you know what? I cannot ask for help." But over the years, and again, I talked to him literally about 2-3 weeks ago. I saw him at another event. I went to attend one of his events now, and we just talked about that. By the time I said, "Hey, you know what? He's been using for over 8 years, and last year he fell off the wagon." Right? He said, "You know what? I was using for so many years, and I just got off the. And you know what? Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for just texting me. Remind me one more time. I need to get back on it again." This was just less than 2-3 weeks ago. We just talked.
Wow. And he was on the Glutarol Plus, right? He takes the Glutarol Plus, right?
So he took the regular Glutarol for the longest time
Right.
because the Plus was not even released to the public until 2021.
Right.
So he didn't get the Plus. The Plus, I have a whole story about the Plus. I had a very prominent NFL athlete's dad had to use the Plus.
Talk a little bit about that story.
So what happened was during the COVID time, of course, people were just scrambling people were dying and people going on ventilator. There was no hope and there was no cure for that. And about that time, of course, people knew about glutathione was a great Dr. Horowitz did a study on a one-patient trial, got published in some journal. So people wanted to use glutathione for helping with COVID. It doesn't do anything with COVID, but what it does, it just reduces the inflammation down so you can breathe better. If you can breathe better, the body can clear the virus by itself. You don't have to do anything different than that.
Right.
Anyways, of course, around that time, NFL was about to start. It was in a bubble, so nobody can get out of it. And this was a very high-powered individual. He's played multiple Super Bowls. Anyways, his dad was sick, and mom was sick, and I get a call from the family member. I said, "Hey, I heard you have this glutathione product that I can help. My dad is not doing well with COVID, and he's not going to make it." I said, man, I do not know what to do, but since it's the hospital, I have something called Glutathione Plus, which is at that time there was no product like that, right? I have something stronger version that I have made in my lab for years, but I've never released the product to the public yet, and I would love to give it to you. So try it out. And so she goes, please give me right now. I'll pick up today. And of course, they are in Northern California. I'm in Southern California. We arranged a time to pick up same day at midnight. They got the product. They got to the dad and started using the product. 3 days goes by, nothing happens. Nothing. Right? I said, and so of course the family's getting worried. I said, hey, I asked him, I said, is he getting worse? He said, no, it's not getting worse, but he's not getting better. I said, well, just hang in there. Right. Fourth day, it's like somebody just turned the light switch off. Wow. Boom. Fourth day, the tube comes out, the breathing on its own, everything is normal. I said, whoa. It's like, wow. The fifth day, the doctor shifts him to a regular unit from the ICU. Right? Sixth day goes by, and the doctor goes, well, this is too good to be true. We have not seen this before, so we're going to keep him on observation. By the seventh day, he was already home.
Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, when you had told me the story years ago, he was even given like something akin to his last rites. They thought he was not going to make it.
That's exactly right. They thought it was not going to make it. There were all those other drugs. There were options available at that time. The remdesivir was on a clinical trial, so he was on that product. I think there was again. Keep in mind, these guys are very high net worth individuals. They have all the money in the world. Yeah. What they don't have is access to some of the other things. Right. I think they even tried the blood therapy when at that time it was those immune therapy they were giving them out. Nothing was working on this person. Wow. And this was of course, right off the bat, I get a call from this player and said, hey, I've been using glutathione for a long time. What's so special about this one? And so he used it for 30 days. All of a sudden, he goes, "Oh, can you ship me a dozen out? Because this is not going to last me too long anymore." Right. But sure enough, I had to launch the product the next year. So I launched the product.
I know I contacted you somewhat after our show, and I was showing I don't drink or smoke or do any drugs or anything, and I was having liver, my ALT and AST markers were way off, and my doctors couldn't figure out why, and they tested me on everything, and I contacted you, and you got me on the Glutarol, and I'll tell you what, my markers turned around, and I've been on the Glutarol ever since, at least 2022, and it's been a blessing in my life. So to me, this is not a marketing. There's no pay for play on this show. Everybody, my listeners and viewers after 16 years know that. I like to share with our listeners and viewers stuff that I know really is legitimate and really works, such as your great products. And I'll tell you what, it's changed my life, and I've given it out to many people, and they love it as well. Talk a little bit about what else you sell on oralwellness.com. What's the suite of products you have, and how can they improve our lives and make us feel and live healthier and better lives?
So on my website, there's a bunch of products, but the only one that really I make is the glutathione, the Glutarol. Okay. The Glutathione Plus. Everything else, the vitamins, they're great. I take those vitamins myself, so I sell them. But you're right. But you didn't tell me one thing, John. You slipped for a few months not taking the product.
And I slipped backwards, and my ALT and AST went back up again, and I had to get back on it again, and it went away again. You're exactly right.
So I just want to make people understand that once the damage is done, unfortunately, you need to take it for the rest of your life. But we just hope that, hey, you don't get worse. Now, I wish we had taken care of people in the 30s and 40s early on when the body's still intact and there's no damage been done yet. If I can fix it at that time onwards, you can literally go into 60s and 70s without any diseases. That's my plea to everybody.
Well, it's like you said about Tony. When he said to you he fell off the wagon, I did the same. It wasn't on purpose. You just sort of say, oh, I'm better now. And then you just sort of like, oh, I'm just going to leave that out of my routine. That was a mistake. I now have at least 6 bottles always in my cabinet at my house, so I never run out when I'm traveling or anything. I always have many on stock because I don't want to run out of the product. It's that good. It's that good.
And that's what
actually you talked about the smell. The funny thing is, what was originally a weird smell, now I actually enjoy the smell in the morning and at night. I don't mind the smell at all.
So what you just said, John, is absolutely correct. Yes. The body will sense the smell as a sign of good health.
That's right.
So like for example, when they say that, hey, the man smells like pheromones, and to another man that's it's kind of gross, but for the girls it's oh my God, whoa. Right? And so the smell is something that it attracts people. And this smell initially, it smells like a sulfur type smell. For the very first time you use it, say, whoa, this is kind of strong. After a couple of weeks, guess what? People crave the smell and say, oh, I want the smell.
Me too. My day can't start until I've put it on myself. Then I feel like I'm ready for the day.
That's right.
The same thing at night. It's like you crave it, and it makes you. There's a great feeling after I have it on me. I'll tell you what, it's truly revolutionized my health and wellness. And I'm 62 now, and I feel better than I've ever felt in my whole life. So thanks to you, Doc. That's why I was dying to get you back on again. Where are you going to go with this? Like, what's happened since we spoke last? How is the product adoption going? And is it going beyond just the borders of the U.S.? Are you selling your great products now around the world?
So as of last year, we started selling it outside the US as well now. Okay. So we just got our patents approved in multiple countries now. We have 8 patents approved as of today.
Wow.
And so we are going into Europe and Asia and Australia and other parts of the world as well. This year, I'm planning to get all my product registrations done. So hopefully we can launch it big time next year. But it started selling to consumers only, but I still need to get my product registered in every country. So that's going to take some time. Over the last 3 or 4 years, I have learned one thing. The technology that we have developed is to enhance autologous, which is our own body's peptide production. So as long as I can introduce similar peptides the body produces internally and enhance them, this could be a game changer for the rest of your life. Because today, if you think about it, 80%, 90% of all the drugs that the pharma companies are making are peptides or biologics.
Well, since you originally came on the show, we know the biggest peptide that was released and has blown up is GLP-1.
I know.
I mean, and even now, BPC 157 and other peptides are getting very popular. So talk a little bit about peptides. You had the original peptide. Are you going to advance that? Or are you going to do other peptides now to go in line with your glutarol?
Yes, we do have another peptide that's going to be released later part of this year. But I only work with autologous peptides, which is all the peptides that our body produces. Our body does not produce GLPs.
That's right.
So GLPs are bioregulators. That means it's like somebody telling your body what to do. It works. Just because something works, that doesn't mean it's good for you, right? And so our technology, it's great for delivering peptides that are produced by human body. So our next one that we are working on right now is GHK.
What is that? Talk a little bit about that.
So GHK is something about it helps build up joint tissues and and helps with movement. Because you know what? If I can get you healthy, I will get you moving as well. It helps with
Cartilage and ligaments?
cartilage and ligaments. Yep.
Wow.
It all enhances your immune system for skincare. It's great for filling up your elasticity of your skin because you can stuff your skin with collagen, but you'll be plumpy, but it's not healthy.
Doesn't look good. It
But
doesn't
if
look good.
if I can make your skin all nice and soft with elasticity, your skin feels so great.
Is this going to be also transdermal, or how are we going to take care?
Transdermal. That's my technology. And so it's going to go on the skincare side first.
Okay.
So the product is already launched in the medical community already. So the doctors are already using it right now.
Really?
The doctors are already using it right now.
And then
so
how long until you put it up on Oral Wellness for sale? How long?
it will not go on oral wellness. It's going to go on oral skincare for sale. Because I will launch for the skin benefits first, because it's going to take me another year or so to do all the testing data for the wellness side.
Okay.
So 2026-ish, maybe 27, I'm not sure. But the people can still use it to, hopefully the next couple of months, you should be able to use it, buy the product on the skincare side and see all the skin benefits of it as well.
Hey, Doc, when that launches, you're going to come back on the show and we're going to talk about that in depth, okay? How's that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Everybody, men, women, everyone cares about skincare and how they look now. And as we know, in this Instagram world that we live in this TikTok world that we live in, beauty and vanity mean more than ever before because people are on camera more than ever before, just like you and I are doing today. So I think it's going to be a big hit, Doc, especially since it's something analogous that comes out of our own bodies.
Exactly. And by the way, John, I was just recently in Miami to receive an award, and the award was for the most innovative technology that combines wellness and skincare into one.
Come on! So you're already winning awards for the product that's not even out there yet. Really, it's in the medical community, but not out to the consumers yet.
Yeah, but the thing is, the person that already knows about this thing, she goes, "Oh my God, this is incredible technology. How are you?" I tell them the beauty is inside out.
Yeah.
The skin is a reflection of what your body says from inside.
Yeah.
If I can fix you from inside, I can fix you from outside. But if I can fix you the inside from outside, it's like going through your skin. It's the best thing they can do to yourself. So that's what the award is for. So we just received the award recently.
Congratulations, Doc. You deserve it. I wish you deserve awards for Glutarol too. I'll tell you what, I know it's changed a lot of lives, including mine. What about what's coming up? This is going to be great. The GHK is going to be great. What are you going to call it, by the way? Do you know what you're going to call it yet?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's about my pay grade, I guess.
All right, so let's go to another three letters and talk about 3 letters. RFK. RFK now has just been approved by the new by the Congress and the Senate to now take his position. How is that going to alter healthcare, and how can that benefit all the great work that you're doing?
So I do not have any first experience with RFK Jr. himself, but I have worked the people around him over the years. So I'm very fortunate that I know the doctors that have worked with him. I know I was asked to send him some bottles of glutathione recently, which we did right away. So
that's exciting.
He is a customer of our products right now. Right. I think people are just trying to do the best they can. He's in a great shape right now, and he wants to be in that shape. And of course, glutathione is the #1 product that can help him do that part. But the way he's speaking right now, he's really, really want to go back to the basics. He wants to reduce the toxicity that's in the food chain. Right. He wants to reduce unwanted chemicals into all of our supply chain. If we can do that alone, because keep in mind, our body can produce glutathione, but if we get used up all day, every day on this junk that we are getting from food supplies, we are not allowing our body to literally thrive. And so I'm so happy what he's doing right now. Like in California, I mean, he was pressuring them to remove the food dyes, and they announced right now they're going to remove the food dyes out of all the products. I said, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. But that's not going to stop over there. We have so many unwanted vaccines. Vaccines have changed the world. It's done so much good for the world,
Right.
but then it can also do bad for the world as well.
Right.
And so having proper investigation happening on all vaccines is a great thing to do, because you know what, it's we want safe medicine in this world, and we cannot allow to give everybody immunity over drugs that they have no repercussions. So we want them to do all the work together. And RFK, I think he's really looking at those avenues. There's a lot of waste in the medical community right now, a lot of inexcessive testings and prescribing and all those things, which I know that he's looking very closely at that as well. But more importantly, what I'm looking at right now is the hope that he's bringing in to the American public,
Yeah.
that he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the supply chain for food and drug is going to be so intact that people can once again trust the agencies that they're doing the right thing for the right reason, which is for the public.
That's great. You know, Doc, you look like you're not like you're 53. You look like you're 40. Talk a little. I love being a constant student. How do you keep yourself in such great health, and why are you glowing so well? Besides your great products, we know that work well. What else? Like, do you fast? Do you eat a plant-based diet? Do you exercise a lot? What's your typical routine and lifestyle like?
All right, so I'll tell you what I at one point I was taking like 30 vitamins per day.
Okay.
Down to maybe one. I do take other pills too once in a while, but my main go-to product right now is besides glutathione is magnesium.
Okay.
I take this every single day. Besides that, I try to go on a plant-based diet as much as possible. I limit my sugars and carb index to bare minimum. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't drink anything else besides water. Water is my best friend. Now, on the weekends, I'll give my wife a company. I'll probably have a cup of coffee with her, maybe a tea with her.
Right.
You know, every weekend I'll have something.
Social.
Exactly. But even in those, there's no sugar in there.
Right.
So it's always neat. There's no milk in there either. So it's try to keep it very, very clean as much as possible. But on my face, it was just, this was another story that when I was receiving this award for the innovative skin award. So there was some people out there say, "Hey, let me scan your face and see what how much damage you have in your face." So I have a report I can share with you. It's just amazing. It's go, "Oh my God, did you use some sunscreen?" I said, "No, I've never used sunscreen in my life. I don't use sunscreen." "Oh, you have no sun damage spots." I said, "Oh, that's good. That's a great thing." I said, "But your pores are a little bit clogged up right now." I said, "That's because I don't use any soap, and the soap I use is bar soap or whatever." I said, "Really? That's all you use?" I said, "Yeah, I don't use much. My oil structure in my skin is very, very. It's like in a 93 percentile, which is amazing. My skin texture is in like 78 percentile, which is I said that's like a young skin." And so, anyways, and that's because I just started using the GHK about 3 weeks ago, myself personally as well, and it has really changed my skin texture.
And do you put it transdermally on your chest or your stomach, or does that go on your face directly? On my face directly for right now. Okay. I do not know the exact concentration that I would need to improve my joints yet. So that's good. That's what I'm saying. It's good. That's what you're working on. That's what will take me about the rest of the year or early part of next year before I can launch for the wellness side. So that's what I'm doing. Besides that, I have the Rise and Revive Reset Repair Cream. So I combine those together and apply my face once a day only. I only do it once a day. But for exercise, I do is, the most important thing I do for myself is breathing exercise every morning. I just bring oxygen to my body as much as possible. So I breathe. I do my gratitudes in the morning. I'll remember 3 things I'm grateful about for every morning. Just appreciate life the way it is and ground myself down that, hey, I'm only here to serve and I'm only here to accept
other people's findings and gratitude that they have done in their life. And so I want to thank everybody for that, doing that for me. And hope and tomorrow morning I can assure you, you will be my gratitude thinking pattern, because when I first came to your podcast, it really helped my business and to reach the world. And I'm here again a few years later, so I'm just really thankful for that as well.
Well,
besides that, in terms of exercise equipments, I do have a hyperbaric chamber that I go into at least 3 to 4 times a week.
Soft shell?
Soft shell is what I use right now because I can't afford the hard chamber.
Yeah, but they say 1.5 is enough anyway. They say the soft shell is just perfect anyway.
It's perfect. I use ambient air. I don't use any pressurized oxygen inside. Ambient air is plenty. That gives you 30% more oxygen in your body anyways, which is plenty for me.
Right.
I do resistance training because as I heard that as you get older, your joints may get weaker. So I don't really use any dumbbells. So I do resistance training maybe about 3 to 4 times a week, but no more than that. But my travel schedule is so much that when I travel, I don't do anything.
Right.
And so that's the only thing. But I do have I have a masseuse that I go to twice a week, every single week, because I want to make sure my lymphatic system is always constantly flowing. And other than that, I just eat healthy. I do eat fish. You know, if I'm traveling, I'll probably eat fish, lean fish as much as possible, but not too much. I'll probably about a few times a month.
Well, whatever you're doing, Doc, you look amazing. You look like you're 40 years old. So that itself is a testimony to not only healthy living, but also your great products. And for our listeners and viewers to find Dr. Patel and to buy his great products, please go to oralwellness.com. I'm a user of these products. It's helped my health tremendously. Obviously, you could also read his great book, The Glutathione Revolution. He's going to sign some copy for us, and we're going to be giving them out also to some of our listeners and viewers who write in. And Doc, I just want to say, not only thank you for your hour today, but thank you for all the impact you've made on people's health. Not only Tony Robbins, but normal people like me. We are so grateful for you and all your products, and you're a blessing to all of us. So thank you for making the world a better place.
Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it, John. Thank you.
This edition of the Impact Podcast is brought to you by Engage. Engage is a digital booking platform revolutionizing the talent booking industry. With thousands of athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and business leaders, Engage is the go-to spot for booking talent, for speeches, custom experiences, live streams, and much more. For more information on Engage or to book talent today, visit letsengage.com. This edition of the Impact Podcast is brought to you by ERI. ERI has a mission to protect people, the planet, and your privacy, and is the largest fully integrated IT and electronics asset disposition provider and cybersecurity-focused hardware destruction company in the United States and maybe even the world. For more information on how ERI can help your business properly dispose of outdated electronic hardware devices, please visit eridirect.com.